Hi, Christian. Sorry you weren't feeling well, but let's take a look at what happened. Um, Looks like you missed your last rep on the last set, um, but you made your bench set. This is probably due to recovery issues from the cold, but let's just take a look and see if we can identify anything else that might have contributed to it. I wish you could zoom in on yourself a little bit there. Yep, those foam rollers, they really constrain your movement, don't they? But they stop the knee slide. Now let's look at this a little bit more closely. Yeah, so you're not used to getting your depth without getting the knee without having the knee slide in there too. I really wish I could see a little bit closer view. I think these are to depth, and it makes your form a little bit better. But I wish you could zoom in a little bit for me there, Christian. You're trying to knock the foam rollers over. See, it's hard to control your knee slide, but they really kind of force you to do that. And there's my hip drive and not a half bad back angle, right? Stay in your hips on the way up. Good. And try and keep your knees as close to the foam roller on the way up as possible, too. Now, the trick here is to go all the way to the bottom with the foam rollers in place. That's the trick. You did a good job setting those up and using those. And I'm very glad to see that you went ahead and did what I asked you and to use those. So that's going to pay big dividends. We're going to continue to use those for the time being, and then eventually we'll wean you off of them before too long. I want you to really try and get your depth while holding your knees in that one position. And I want you to try to keep your knees as close to the foam rollers as possible on the way up. That will maximize your hip drive. So good job on those, Christian. Let's take a look at your set without. I'm thinking we might see some differences here. Your squat's looking good, but your camera angle sucks, Christian. I'm just going to tell you that. Now, see, you can see how the knee slide is coming back with a vengeance right here. So that's probably as far forward as your knees need to get, right there. Right? We can see where it is on this one relative to the upright, and we can see where this knee is, right? So I'm guessing the front of your knee is right about there on that cursor, right there. And you can see that your knee is still, look at that. It goes all the way through the upright there, right? So these foam rollers are going to pay off. I want you to use them. I want you to just use them on all 3 sets the next few times we work out. And just use them on your warm-up sets and use them on your work sets and get used to using them, because we're going to use them for just a little while, and then once you get used to posting your knees and keeping them in a good position, then we'll just get rid of them. They're a very useful tool. I use them a lot in trainees, and they fix a lot of problems, right? And the knee slide had gotten bad enough that we're just going to have to fix that. One of the problems that they fix is they prevent you from developing a lot of knee pain later on from all the stress that you're putting on your patella tendon and your patella and the anterior components of the knee, right? So let's just go ahead and use them for your warm up and work sets, and then we'll gradually wean you off of them. This works well. Okay, so next, let's look at the bench press. These usually look really good for you. I'm not anticipating we're going to see a lot of stuff to worry about. Look at that, nothing to it. Good. You can fix that wrist a little bit, right? So this wrist is a little too extended. I want a flatter wrist. I want a straighter wrist on these. That's something we can fix, all right? I'm not entirely convinced that you're pushing down with your legs as hard as you should be. Always pushing your upper back into the bench. You don't look as tight as I think you need to be. Bar path looks excellent. Tempo looks excellent. So nothing about that, but I want you to push harder with your legs, and I want you to straighten out those wrists on the bench. Good workout, and I'll see you in a couple of days, Kristian. Take care now.